Hey everybody, what's up? Jay here. Thank you so much for clicking play. Last week we did the little Neil Peart crossover rhythm method kind of drum lesson, and after that I received a bunch of emails, and there was kind of a common theme throughout the emails. A lot of people were asking, what do I practice when I'm at home, just playing on my own? So what I did this week, I just got a new bass pedal. I got the Jojo Mayer Perfect Balance pedal. So I was in my studio today rehearsing, practicing some of the things I normally do with this pedal, getting used to it. And I figured, you know what, let me throw on the recorder and break down some of the things that I practice as I'm doing them for this week, and hopefully you'll get some use out of them. But the first thing I wanted to do was mention to you, this is one of the most important things, is I have a mirror in my studio and a monitor that I use for the lessons, but I do use it when I'm practicing. And by having this, I could see my entire drum set from a side view, from an outside perspective. So I can see the motion of my hands, the technique on my finger, the way my foot is on the bass pedal from a side view. But what really happens, what I find happens to me, is as I'm watching myself in the mirror or on the monitor practicing something, I start intently watching it, almost kind of zoning out and daydreaming. And as I'm watching it, I realize that I'm really focusing on the technique to really see and visualize and really see the motions perfected. So one of the best things you can do for yourself is get a mirror in your studio. Get a mirror in your studio. Get an alternate way to watch yourself practicing, and do it all the time. So that's one of the first things I always do, is I always have some way to see myself. Even if I'm practicing on a pad, I'll do it in front of a mirror or a window where I get a good reflection. I kid you not. All right, so we're going to jump over to the other cam, and then we'll talk about some of the things we're going to break down for today, okay? Thanks. All right, everybody, this is much better now. Here we go. So today, the first thing I did when I came into the studio was a Dave Weckl exercise. Months ago, I was watching a Jerome Garnett video on YouTube, amazing drummer, and in the lesson, he was doing this Dave Weckl exercise. So I had never seen it before. I never knew it was a Dave Weckl exercise. So this is really cool because it's a very easy, simple exercise, and that will be the only time I use the word simple, because I said it like 24 times last week. So part one for this exercise is floor tom and hi-hat at the exact same time, followed by the bass drum. That's it. And repeat it. Okay? The second part of the exercise is 2 with the right hand. The third part of the exercise is just alternating the hand and the foot. Okay? Now, this exercise is absolutely phenomenal for limb independence. It's great. I personally do the exercise in German position, and I shift into French position. I use just my fingers. I use just my wrists. As far as foot development, it's absolutely great. So I'll do the parts one more time, and then we'll take a look at them with the proper mics on, and we'll break it down, okay? So again, part 1. Part 2. And part 3. Now, when we break it down, I'll throw on the foot cam, and you'll be able to see what's going on there. Another thing you could do with this is you can throw this into a beat and use it as a fill. So I'll do a couple examples of that. So let's take a look at it. And again, this is the Dave Weckl exercise. Do it in all your positions: German, French, fingers, wrist. It's a great exercise. Do it around the kit. Do it all over the place. I promise you're going to love this one. Thanks. Another thing I do all the time is beats to fills. No matter what type of beat I'm working on, I always try and turn it into a fill. And I literally mean that. Let's take a straight beat right off the bat. Now go across the toms. Okay, now it's very easy what I just did, but you can incorporate this in no matter what type of music you're playing, no matter what level you are. Try and turn your beats into fills. Let's take a look at a few examples and we'll come right back. So that's beats to fills. Like I said, no matter what music you're playing or what style, start turning your beats into fills. Even when you're jamming out in your studio and you're coming up with some crazy beats, start messing with them around the kit. It's going to build up some great independence between your hand and foot, and you're going to start coming up with some really cool stuff. Another thing that's really cool, I call it the heartbeat paradiddle. It's something I nabbed out of a Jojo Mayer tune. I was listening to one of his songs one day. I think it may have been Far. And he does this really cool thing, and it's very easy. It's a paradiddle, and he does the bass drum on the first note and then does a bass drum on the alternate note. Like a heartbeat. It's like a with a paradiddle over it. So it's I'll do it really slow, and then we'll take a better look at it with the mics on. It's such an easy little thing to do, but when you get it down and you start doing it around the kit, whether you're on the hi-hat and snare or if you're toms and stuff, it turns into such a monster little, like, tasty filler. I don't even know if you could use it as a fill. I do all the time. But it just becomes this great little component that you have. So take a look at a few examples. that's kind of it, everybody. There's some simple things that I was working on this week. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer them and talk to you. Make sure you check me out on DRUMEO on Saturday. And keep watching for the Hand Techniques Part 2 this week, French Grip Decoded. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.